There is only one source of all of life. One essence, one substance, one process forever unfolding. And I call this one God. I call it Spirit. By whatever name we call it, it is what gives rise to all that is. We come together this morning in celebration of that one, knowing that each one of us is a perfect and intentional expression of the divine. We set this time aside each week to remember who and whose we are. So I am deeply grateful this morning for each one here and each one listening, trusting and knowing that hearts and minds are open to the wisdom as it's offered today, to the voice of Spirit from within, and that each one is prepared to take away something that is uplifting and helpful today. And so I give thanks for each one here. I give thanks for this beautiful space. I give thanks for the time and intention that each one brings. And I know that as we move into our Taizé this morning, we are fulfilled and opened in new and beautiful ways. And so for this I say thank you, Spirit. I release this prayer trusting that it has created the safe and open space. And we release it and affirm by together saying, and so it is. Amen.
Well, good morning. It is an honor to welcome you to our Mystic Heart Sunday morning gathering. And if everybody here knows me. If anybody's online that doesn't know, my name is Chris Johnson. I'm a prayer practitioner here at Mystic Heart. And we're going to get started this morning, as we do, by raising our voices in song.
Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. Welcome home to your mystic heart. Lay aside whatever came before. Let your own intuition start to guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. To guide you to heaven's door. We are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child who seeks protection in a mother's warm embrace, we are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever in a mother's warm embrace. We are held in the hands of grace. You are held in the hands of grace, forever safe in the arms of love. Like a child seeks protection in a father's warm embrace, you are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace. We are held in the hands of grace.
Forever held in the arms of love, in the hands of grace, in this and every moment. Feeling love's presence as we settle into the stillness this morning, acknowledging the grace moving through our lives. We bring our awareness to our breath, allowing it to flow in and out freely. Grace unifies us. It is an invisible power for good, a force of connection. All of life connected by love, lifted and carried by grace. Every person, every other than human creature is an expression of Spirit's perfect love, an emanation of divine intelligence, radiating the light of Spirit. Every plant, rock, and grain of sand, the earth beneath our feet, and all that lives within that soil, all expressions of Spirit's unending grace. Earth, air, fire and water, the sacred elements, fundamental expressions of the one source. Lifting our inner vision beyond this beautiful planet and up into the heavens, we see the sun, the moon, the stars and the planets, all expressions of God's infinite intelligence and creativity. And now bringing our awareness downward to the core of the earth, and then inward to the core of your being. One life, one radiant light, forever shining, connected at the very deepest level. Take a moment to breathe that in. As self-reflective beings, we are given a unique opportunity and a unique responsibility to use our power of conscious choice wisely, to consciously choose love over fear in every situation, to ask, what would love do right now? By truthfully answering this question and acting from that love, we leave the world a more beautiful place. We show reverence to our Creator, to ourselves and one another, to our dear Mother Earth, and to all of creation. This year, we are contemplating life through the lens of story, and this month, we have focused on the stories of the mystic Jesus. Today we will address one of the primary subjects of his teaching as we explore how to go about resurrecting compassion. The Latin roots of the word compassion literally mean to suffer with. Merriam-Webster fleshes it out a little bit more. Compassion is sympathetic consciousness of another's distress together with a desire to alleviate it. Our awareness of another's suffering stirs within us a desire to comfort them. Compassion is an attribute of our Creator. We are born with it. It's factory equipment. When we see two babies together and one of them starts to cry, we notice the other immediately moves closer to help. All normal infants respond in this way. But do we always respond with compassion when we see suffering? Is that our default setting? We would certainly like to think so. In fact, we get offended if someone criticizes us for not having enough compassion, because we identify being compassionate with being human. If someone accuses us of not being compassionate enough, it makes us feel as if our humanity is being attacked. Compassion probably was our default setting when we were infants, but our domestication, our socialization, has put several layers of psycho-spiritual conditioning over our personalities since then. We've been taught to seek after comfort, to avoid pain and suffering at all costs. Because of this, when we're confronted with another person's suffering, another person's despair, we meet with a deep-seated resistance to entering into their misery with them. Instead of willingly sharing in their vulnerability and their distress, we may erect shields designed to protect ourselves from getting sucked into their suffering. But it never works. And that's because when we give in to that resistance and turn our gaze away in avoidance, that innate urge to comfort our sibling does not go away. And the friction between that compassionate impulse and our resistance to it causes us to feel guilt. Our conscience accuses us of not being compassionate enough, not being loving enough. Something within our very being calls our humanity into question. And yet, our compassion does not die. It is merely pushed down from our conscious awareness into the tomb where our other repressed and suppressed feelings and emotions are interred. Feelings and emotions that we have buried in a futile attempt to regain a sense of comfort, ease, and peace. So how do we resurrect our compassion from this tomb? What tools can we use to roll away the stone and allow our innate impulse to be compassionate arise within us again? 3 of the 7 pillars of spirituality that we teach here at Mystic Heart are powerful techniques for breaking through our conditioning and healing our unresolved emotions. Prayer, meditation, and self-inquiry. Prayer is not a plea for God to fix us. Rather, through prayer, we are transformed. We are made pliable and receptive so that whatever rigidity is holding us back can be revealed and healed. Prayer does not change God. Prayer changes us. In meditation, we quiet our hearts and our minds to listen for Spirit's voice, our intuition, our own inner guidance. With an open and receptive heart, we dive deep within ourselves, gently exploring our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. And this leads us to self-inquiry, where we examine, without judgment, what we have discovered in our deep dive. The treasures and the junk we have collected from the seabed of our consciousness. And then we consciously choose what to keep and discard what no longer serves us. And now, the tomb is open, the air is fresh, and the corpses of the emotions that we suppressed out of fear are gone. Our natural predisposition to respond compassionately is restored, and we are empowered to be the voice and arms of comfort, to be the heart, hands, and feet of Spirit in this world. We are ready to inhabit the kingdom of heaven, ready to live in a love-soaked world.
We are each on a journey of awakening to the true essence of who we are. Love. Love is not merely an emotion limited to specific relationships, but a universal energy that flows through all of creation. We are opening ourselves to a deeper understanding of love as the foundation of our being, and learning to cultivate a loving presence in every aspect of our lives. Compassion is an essential and transformative component of love. Resurrecting compassion means learning to extend compassion to ourselves and others. As we do, we begin to recognize the shared humanity in all beings, to transcend judgments and grievances, to seek true understanding, and offer forgiveness, kindness, and caring. True compassion recognizes that there is no other. In the face of suffering, compassion asks with sincerity, what is it like to be you? As we extend true compassion, we open ourselves to the healing power of love. And our perception shifts towards unity and oneness. And we begin to feel our shared humanity. Forgiveness plays a profound role in the act of resurrecting compassion. Forgiveness is an act of love and compassion. It enables us to release the past, to let go of judgments and grievances, and to heal our perception of separation so that we can move forward untethered. Forgiveness frees us. It offers a path to inner peace, liberation, and the restoration of our true nature as loving beings. The human brain is built to perceive duality, comparison. It has a tendency to judge ourselves and others. True compassion invites us to embrace non-judgment as a way of being. As we practice and learn to transform the habit of judgment, we create space for love and compassion to flow freely, nurturing our relationships and fostering a sense of unity and connection with all beings. In our 3 minutes of shared silence, I invite you to call to mind and heart a person that challenges your compassion. Someone who is difficult for you to be around. Someone who brings up your tendency to judge or simply avoid. It may be someone specific or someone you don't really know, like the unhoused person on the street or the one who has to have the last word. It might be a behavior or a personality type. As this person or personality comes to mind, ask with real curiosity and sincerity, what is it like to be you? With all that life has brought your way. What has brought you to this place? Listen for what Spirit brings forward. O Holy One, thank you for bringing forth my heart of true compassion. For the inspiration, the courage, and the willingness to practice forgiveness and non-judgment. For bringing to mind this question each time that I'm faced with difficulty in the form of a person or circumstance. What is it like to be you? Thank you for this opportunity to gather with beloved community, the spiritual family that is here as our support system. Help us to remember that it is by your grace that we are transformed, moment by moment, day by day. It is your love that moves through our hearts and minds, that makes true compassion a lived experience. As Chris continues his Taizé meditation, we allow his inspired message to penetrate our hearts, to spark a transformation within our soul, to awaken and resurrect compassion at the very deepest level.
Prayer has opened us. Meditation has inspired us. And self-inquiry has empowered us to risk sharing our compassion. So what's next? That brings us to a fourth pillar of spirituality, sacred service. We engage our compassion with others, with those in our beloved community and those in our greater community. We move outside these walls, outside these doors, and actively seek those who need our compassion, those who may have been left behind by society, our brothers and sisters who need our help, who need the comfort we have to give. The mystic Jesus taught that the kingdom of heaven is a participatory project. We cannot wait for God to supernaturally intervene in the world and fix everything for us. While we're waiting for God, God is waiting for us. Spirit can do nothing for us. God can only work through us. It turns out we are the ones we've been waiting for. Robert Burns said, he said that the purpose of life is a life of purpose. The meaning of life, then, is to live a meaningful life. To live in a way that brings more goodness, truth, and beauty and joy into our world. And as Rabbi Yeshua taught, We cannot know when heaven and earth will pass away for us personally. We simply don't know how much time we have to bring more meaning, more beauty, and more purpose into our life.
I see a scene of empty eyes, where silence speaks that life's not fair. They feel the weight of all their hunger, and I feel the weight of their despair. And that's a burden hard to bear. Well, I can't change the world, but I can live with open hands. And I can't change the world, but I can give all that I can. And I can pray and I can love. And when all is said and done, I can't change the world, but I can change the world for one. Hope can drown in so much need, and that's a poor excuse to turn away. 'Cause I have seen a grateful smile shining on a child's face, and that's why I have faith. Well, I can't change the world, but I can live with open hands. And I can't change the world, but I can give all that I can. And I can pray and I can love. And when all is said and done, I can't change the world, but I can change the world for one half a world away, or just across the street. May my eyes be open to anyone in need. Well, I can't change the world. No, I can't change the world. No, no, but I can pray and I can love. And when all is said and done, I can't change the world, but I can change the world for one. For one.
No one of us can do all the work that needs to be done to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. But we can change the world for one. One person at a time, one heart at a time, one plant at a time. We can change the world for one. Let us close in prayer. Divine Creator, thank you for this life that you have given me. Thank you for birthing me into this world of beauty and love, and for surrounding me this morning with these beautiful saints who share this beloved community with me and support me in my quest to create a life of meaning and purpose. Thank you for the seed of compassion you have planted within each of us. May we always remember to nurture it so that it grows and blossoms within us and bears fruit in our world. In this sacred moment, I choose to be an instrument of divine compassion in the world. I release the fears that have discouraged me from giving my siblings comfort in their hour of need, and I embrace my calling to serve Spirit's creation in any way I can. I choose to keep my heart open and vulnerable so that I may discern where I may best serve others. And I allow divine intuition to reveal to me my unique role in creating a new heaven and a new earth. Grateful for the infinite power of creation that responds to my every thought and word, I release my intention. I lay it on the altar of Spirit, knowing that the divine creative principle is compelled to receive it and respond by bringing it into form and into experience in my life. I interpret everything from this moment on as part of the answer to this prayer, and so I give thanks for the blessings it brings to me and to those in my world. Amen. I invite you now to bring your awareness back into your body, back to this time, this place, and to our community. So as you feel ready, gently open your eyes and look around. Look into the eyes of love that surround you. Pretty beautiful bunch of people here, huh? I love you guys.
Yeah. So fun.
So as we close our Taizé meditation this morning, we offer the opportunity for you to share of your financial good in support of the work that we do in the world, if you should choose to do so. Those of you joining us online can go to our website at mysticheart.org, find a donate button or mailing address. We are an independent, self-supporting organization, and your financial gifts are what makes it possible for us to do our work and provide this beautiful and safe space in which to gather. And as we engage in the sacred practice of circulation, please enjoy this music. I'm not sure what it is that was supposed to be Change the World, but but that's all right. I think it's probably Daniel Nahmod.
If this is my last song, if this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? No, not fortune or fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue. Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came.
Love this song. So beautiful.
If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal. It's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and sky a little more blue. Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller 'cause of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
Great Spirit, thank you for these gifts. Thank you for the loving hands that brought them, put them into the basket. Thank you for the loving hearts that support the work that we're doing here at Mystic Heart and out in the greater community. I know that you will guide us in the wise stewardship of these gifts as they support our spiritual family and our growing spiritual family out in the community. So I say thank you, Spirit. Thank you to each one here. And so it is. Amen. Okay, so please feel free to grab a nice hot cup of coffee on this cool morning, or tea, or water, or whatever you feel like having. And we'll be back at about 13 minutes with a conscious conversation. So when you hear Eddie Watkins say, we come together, it's probably time that we come together. Thank you. Have a blessed Sunday.
I'm so backwards today. I'm so used to not being right here, right now.
Come into the presence.
I was very present with my coffee. Oh, the joy and the laughter. So we take a moment to ground ourselves in that, in the sound of joyful celebration, the sound of togetherness, knowing that there is one thing going on here right now, and that is Spirit expressing itself as each one of us and as this gathering this morning. And so I give thanks for each one here, knowing that as we move into this time together, each one of us is given something to chew on this week, something we can take with us that uplifts us and helps move us to our next yet to be. So I say thank you, Spirit, for this time. Thank you for this gathering. Thank you for our beautiful gathering space, gathering place. Thank you for the joyful gathering we held here yesterday. Thank you to April and Miley and Chris Netto for leading the way in that gathering. thank you for the presence of 18 people here. It was a really beautiful time. So I know that this morning unfolds with just as much joy and just as much grace and beauty. And so I just allow it to unfold as it wishes to do. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Amen. Take my coffee off the altar.
Kind of flip
Because
things
there's no
around
coffee
today.
allowed on.
I know that, and I was gonna point that out.
The coffee is that good here. You need to come on down if you're watching on TV.
Yeah, very true.
Well, welcome back, and thanks for being here. If you just joined us online, my name is Chris Johnson, prayer practitioner here at Mystic Heart, and it's my pleasure to welcome you aboard. And we're an independent interfaith community that teaches universal principles and practical spirituality. We're not here to give you all the answers. We're here to lead you back to the wisdom and guidance of your own mystic heart. Amen. We are all mystics. Bless you.
Bless you.
You don't always get blessed when you sneeze in the middle of church, do you? So anybody that sneezed during meditation, bless you. Anyway, let's get this conversation started by joining our voices in song and making our oneness a lived musical experience.
I need to wake up.
Welcome to your mystic heart. Join the celebration. Lift your voice and sing your part. Make this affirmation. Spirit made us family with loving hearts to share. Together we are joyfully practicing the possible through prayer.
And everything's possible.
So welcome to the Mystic Heart. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody lead. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody lead. Let us be reminded who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a Okay. Where did we leave off? Let's do a quick recap. There's the recap. But first, let's take a moment to consciously engage the body in our spiritual practice of envisioning a love-soaked world. So join me in taking a deep breath. Feel the presence of God moving through you, the presence of love, the presence of peace. And release. One more time. Feel the grace fill you. And release that out into the world. And feel and know with me a world in which all humans live from their deepest spiritual wisdom, their most generous and loving nature, ever thoughtful, ever mindful of the impact their thoughts, words, and actions have on one another, on the greater community, and on the planet. Remembering that every thought, word, and action leaves an eternal imprint. We are living in peace. Peace in our homes, our neighborhood, and peace as a global community. The human race has outgrown war, violence, and all appearances of separation. All needs are met gracefully. All beings have plenty of nourishing food, warm, comfortable, and affordable housing, a sense of safety, security, and belonging, mental and physical wholeness, education, and healthy relationships are ensured by social systems grounded in integrity, honesty, and wholeness. Honesty and transparency rule the day. We are creating a world in which each person is valued as a unique individual, where authenticity and vulnerability are celebrated, where loving relationships are the norm, and each person is free to love who and as they choose. A world where there are no walls, no boundaries to divide us. A world in which all are welcome. Everyone belongs. Sense and know with me a world where the peace we cultivate within our own hearts shows up as a world free of hatred or violence. Feel the loving connection to each other, to our Mother Earth. Know that our ways of living support her just as she has supported us. You can step outside, smell pure fresh air, no matter where you are. Food and water are all safe and healthy, offering nourishment, no matter where you live. Our world is undergoing a profound transformation, and as it does, this community stands strong as an open and welcoming place for all who seek support, belonging, and spiritual family. We redefine church as a place of self-discovery, authenticity, kindness, friendship, and love. It is in the realm of infinite possibility that our prayers and our visions take form. So we spend time in that realm now as we bring forth a new story, a new way of being human, a new way of living peacefully on our planet. I offer gratitude and thanksgiving to the Great Spirit, trusting in its creative power and the divine process to bring our shared vision to life. In humility, I call it done. I release it to the one that gets it done. And so it is. Amen. God, that's a cool thing we do. Sorry. Well, welcome to our cool April morning Super Soul Show and Shine. I invite you. I invite you to take a look around at the other shining souls that are sharing this morning with you. I don't know where that came from. Yes, I do, but that's all right. If you were with us for Taizé this morning, you'll know that this year we're looking at life through the lens of story. And our topic for conversation this month has been the mystic Jesus. And this morning we explore how to go about resurrecting compassion. We began with the fact that since we're made in God's image and likeness, and since compassion is an attribute of spirit, it must be one of our innate qualities as well. I said compassion is factory equipment. Infants instinctively move toward a crying sibling in an attempt to comfort them. So we're all born with compassion, which prompts the question, well, why does it seem in such short supply in our world? To answer that question, we explored how our domestication, or socialization, if you will, conditions us to avoid pain and suffering at all costs, and to seek our own comfort and ease first and foremost. In other words, we learn to suppress our natural compulsion to comfort somebody in distress, and the resistance caused by the conflict between our desire to comfort our siblings and our discomfort often makes us turn away. But that doesn't solve the problem, does it? Our conscience tells us that we didn't do what we should have. We accuse ourselves of not being compassionate enough, not loving enough, for not being human enough. That's because our compassion has not died. It has been suppressed out of our conscious awareness. It has been buried in the tomb with all of our other repressed and suppressed emotions. We then looked at some of the tools that we can use to roll away the stone, to resurrect our compassion. Specifically, we mentioned 4 of the 7 pillars of spirituality that we teach here at Mystic Heart. Does anybody remember what those are?
Prayer,
Meditation.
Prayer, meditation,
reflection,
Self-inquiry.
reflection,
self-inquiry,
Service.
sacred service.
you want more?
Huh?
Sacred study.
What's it? Sacred study,
Celebration,
celebration,
circulation.
and circulation. Bingo.
We're good.
All right. Quiz worked out better than I thought it might.
Collectively, we know it.
Collectively, that's why we need each other. So we considered how prayer, meditation, and self-inquiry help us to open our hearts and minds, to listen deeply for divine guidance, and to explore the contents of our inner tomb of repressed emotions. These practices help us to see clearly what is still serving us and what needs to be jettisoned. And then from this place of greater wholeness, we can engage in the 4th pillar, which is sacred service. With our emotional baggage out of the way, or at least tucked on the shelf for now, we're empowered to share in another's suffering without fear of getting sucked into their misery. We're free to be the comforting arms, the soothing voice, and the loving presence of God in this world. We are actively engaged in the manifestation of heaven on earth, the creation of a truly love-soaked world. So what does the phrase kingdom of heaven or heaven on earth mean to you?
It means God in body.
God in body, okay. What is heaven? Is that place in the sky where you go by and by after you die?
The peaceful presence that resides inside the mind of God.
The mind of God? Wait, could you say that?
The peaceful presence
Yeah.
that resides inside is our mind of God.
So that's the heaven within, right? Okay. Listen,
But it also means that my experience is as beautiful as I choose to allow it to be. Heaven on earth if I choose to have a really beautiful experience, that is my heaven. Yeah, I don't have to wait for it.
Okay, so it's our choice how we receive what comes at us, what comes to us in this life, whether we are living in heaven on earth or hell on earth.
Exactly.
Great.
The thoughts that we choose to attach to.
Ah,
So if we choose to attach to a joy beyond the circumstance, that is bringing heaven to the circumstance. In my mind, I see we draw the thought that we want to attach to.
okay, so there's a couple of things going on there. There's what the circumstance, what happens to us, and then the thoughts that we attach to them, the judgments.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. Oh, that was bad.
Opinions.
The opinions, yes. So, yeah, what Shakespeare say, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So we attach our thoughts and our judgments to things that happen, to people in our life. So,
The kingdom of heaven is refraining from judgment, moving through life peacefully, free of judgment, and accepting what is as it is, peacefully, in my mind.
okay, so total acceptance without judgment, without just letting the experience be what it is,
Be what it is.
without attaching negative or
Labels,
positive
right.
labels to it.
Labels.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so for me, I see heaven as just the invisible realm, the realm of spirit that we can't see or measure, but we all know it's there, or else we wouldn't be here. So there's something happening on the invisible plane of life, and that invisible plane for me is heaven, and it is beyond judgment, and it is beyond the thoughts we attach to it. It's been called inherently good without an opposite. Good, not good as opposed to bad, but just good in that it's life-giving and life-supporting and ultimate generosity. What's our nickname for heaven on earth?
Paradise?
Well, Paradise? I grew up in Paradise, California.
Okay.
We talk about love-soaked world.
Love-soaked world, yeah. So I want you to think about what are the attributes of a love-soaked world. They may be the ones that we say every Sunday. They may be ones that you feel in your own heart. But what are the attributes, what qualities of a love-soaked world do you most fervently desire to see made manifest in our world?
That everybody has enough to eat and a roof over their head.
Okay. Safety, security of a home, and plenty to eat. Dave?
Well, I always related to this one song I thought was the perfect bringing together everyone, and that's John Lennon's Imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite song.
Cooperation
Cooperation.
and the imagination of what it is you want to see come into form.
Yeah. Sharing all the world.
Everyone has choice and re-choice.
Everybody has choice.
And if you don't like what happened with that choice, you can make another one.
Yeah, yeah. Michael?
Cheryl from home writes, negativity is here, but we can choose to change this through joy in heaven thought.
Yeah, we can choose not to engage in somebody. If somebody comes up to us and is spewing a bunch of negative stuff at us, we're at choice. Like Chris was saying earlier, we're at choice. Do we want to engage in that, or do we want to say, that's not my experience. I haven't found that true for me, but, you know.
But thank you for sharing your heart.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, if they're, people try to engage us in that negativity, it's a game. And if we don't play, there's no place for it to go.
They go away.
The game fizzles out before it starts, so. David?
I always like the way Michael Beckwith said it with people just putting that energy out on you and just going, oh. Oh.
It's Cheerios.
Cheerios, yeah.
Cheerios.
Worry-free diet.
Oh, yeah, worry-free diet, that's what it was.
So it's constant negativity goes, oh, 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 oh,
Yeah.
got to go. That's a great video. Wow.
Yeah, I look at spirituality as a giant snap-on toolbox where you could find the right spiritual tool in the right drawer and don't have to look all over for it, like at home. I mean, everything's organized.
We got that, it's our practitioner room.
Yeah.
Make an appointment with one of our prayer practitioners and he or she will give you the tools you need. Kimberly.
My kids gave me a frame. It's called the Aura frame, and they can send pictures to it. I can put pictures on it. It's right by my bed. When I open my eyes at 7 o'clock, all these people that adore and love me are smiling at me. And that's how I start my day, and it's wonderful. Then I go into gratitude, and that's my heaven.
Yeah.
Sherry has a hand up over and over.
Sherry.
Hi. For me, it's releasing my expectations of how things should be, or, you know, I had a really good reminder of that on my vacation last week.
Yeah.
Having my, expecting my body to do everything all at once, and straining my back. And when I've looked forward to this celebration of 20 years together and being in Sedona and all these things, and I could have made myself miserable with it and thought about that for a second. Just feeling sorry for myself, right?
It feels tempting.
Yeah, right? And I'm so grateful for this teaching and for you and Reverend Diana and every single soul in this room, because it's really supported me in being able to live the kind of life that I want to live, as far as being able to shift gears and not have that be a big deal.
Yeah.
And even with John, it's harder for him because he's a doer, an action-oriented person. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, same thing, expectation, and then, oh, there's things that we need to do differently. And he was just really able to be resilient and switch gears and be loving in the process.
Yeah.
And I'm just so grateful. So I was like, oh, this is why I've been married 20 years.
And that goes back to what Chris was saying, is we're at choice.
Yeah.
In every moment. And another one of my favorite lines from Dr. Michael Beckwith is that choice is a function of awareness. Kind of like what you were saying, Lucinda. If you're not aware that you have a choice, if you're not aware that there's another way you can look at this, then effectively, functionally, there's no choice. You are a victim of your circumstance. But once you realize that there's just the event, it's a standalone thing, and what causes me pain is, or undue pleasure even, is what I attach to that, the thoughts I have, the feelings I have about that. So, earlier I said the mystic Jesus taught that the kingdom of heaven is a participatory project. What does that mean to you?
You gotta get on board, make a conscious decision to do that.
Yeah, conscious decision to get on board, and what's that Carrie Newcomer song? A shovel is a prayer.
Shovel is a prayer. Yep.
And Indigo Girls, hammer and a nail. You know.
Yep.
Yep.
It's up to us to build it.
It's up to us. Michael,
Gotta treat and move our feet.
treat and move our feet. That was borrowed from the Quakers.
Yeah, pray.
We had that song the other a couple of weeks ago. When you pray, move your feet. So prayer without action is only one half of the deal.
I heard an expression one time that the pathway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
Missed opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. So and like the Daniel Nahmod song we heard, is the world a little more kinder? Are people a little more wiser? Or a little wiser? Is a child standing a little bit taller because of something that I said? It's those little tiny things. Holding the door open for somebody, helping somebody who spilled a bag of groceries collect their stuff. It's not the big things. It's not the civil rights movement. It's not Gandhi's march across India. It's little things. A smile, holding the door. Who was it? Rainn Wilson in one of our book club books from about a year ago said he always envisioned somebody praying for heaven to come to earth, and there's a bunch of sacks of concrete, 2x4s fall out of the sky. So here you go.
Build up.
Plans are right there.
It's funny.
It's a funny image, but it really is true. If heaven and God are really disembodied spirit, then we are the bodies that are going to have to do the work that it takes.
That's
Yes.
that's the price we pay, if you will, for being given the frontal lobes and the potential for choice making and self-reflection. It's like we've been given the gift of self-reflection and the ability to choose every step of the way, and so the price we pay is then being responsible with that and then doing the action to make the changes. So it's not that we're just given this stuff with nothing attached to it.
Yeah, I don't think that's a price we pay. I don't think that.
Well-
Yeah, I mean that's in the vernacular it says but it's also the privilege
It's
that
the
we get
privilege.
to participate in. I used to tell my kids at school when I was teaching that if they don't take responsibility for what goes wrong in their lives, they can't take responsibility or credit for the good things that they do either. You can't have it just one way.
Right.
You gotta take responsibility in order to take credit. So we do have the privilege to be one of the builders. You guys that helped with the remodel in this place, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's there's a feeling of pride and accomplishment. I remember the level sitting on the sound window over there. Yep, as flat as a fret.
I think sometimes we forget that circumstances and people show up at times when we need that piece of wisdom or that helping hand.
Yeah.
And that is God working through those to help you bring into fruition what it is you are wanting to accomplish, because none of this would have happened if these hands hadn't come together for this
Yeah.
project.
Absolutely. David, did you have something?
Well, I was just thinking that on this planet, it seems like if we didn't have hell, we might not recognize heaven. And I think that's the beauty of this duality, is it shows you, because otherwise, how do you know? How do you know your heaven isn't hell if you don't know the opposite polarity of that?
Yeah. So you need the downs to really appreciate the
Well,
ups.
I mean, that's how I recognize heaven, because this stuff that doesn't vibrate like that is not awake enough, or
Yeah. Doesn't feel as good.
no. So we recognize it. We
Yeah.
know what we want then.
Yeah, so heaven and hell are states of consciousness.
Right.
You know, we've all put ourselves through hell, and we've all experienced heaven. Isn't it?
Well, I think that we're, like we've talked about, we're a choice. And if we don't make that choice for ourselves, someone else will make it for us.
Yeah.
And we'll find ourselves doing somebody else's will. So it's steps, you make choices that you make all the way along the way.
Yeah. Not making a choice is still making a choice. It's abdicating your autonomy.
I think it was a Twilight Zone, but it was a show about this guy died and he went into this room that was like a waiting room, and there was a bunch of people in there and they were just sitting in talking and he was bored, and somebody came in and he goes, is this hell? He goes, well, maybe for you, but it's heaven for them. They were happy where they were and he was miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of the story you told a couple of months ago, I think, about somebody asked to be shown heaven and hell, and so they, he says, which you want to see first? He says, well, let's get the bad news over with first, you know, let's show me hell. And so they go down there and there's a long table, just banquet table, just filled with feasts and all that stuff. He says, well, that doesn't look so bad, you know. But he says, but they all had splints on their elbows, so they couldn't bend their arms.
Take it up to their face.
So they couldn't get the food up to their mouths, right? So after the first, oh, this looks like heaven, oh, but they can't eat it. It's like, so it's just teasing them. So that is hell. So let me see heaven then, and it looks exactly the same.
Except they can bend their elbow.
No,
No, they feed
no, they have the splints on their arms too, but they're feeding the person across the table.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that.
Feeding each other.
There you go.
So, you know, and that ties right back into our love-soaked world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We take care of each other. So Rabbi Yeshua, the mystic Jesus, talked a lot about the kingdom of heaven. He says it's within us, it's at hand, it's spread upon the earth, but people don't see it. It's like a mustard seed. It's like yeast. It's like a pearl of great price. But did he ever teach us how to get there?
He did say it's within us.
What's that?
He said it was within us.
He did say it was within us.
He modeled it.
He modeled it. He was a great teach by example kind of guy. So let's explore that a little bit further. How did he model it?
Through prayer, meditation, understanding, spending time with people, inquiring what it was like to be them.
Yeah. Yeah, he hung out with people that nobody else would hang out with. Lepers, tax collectors, prostitutes, the untouchables of society.
All
But
the
he also,
quote-unquote bad people.
what's that?
I said all the quote-unquote bad people.
Yeah, yeah. But on the other hand,
The leopards.
he also dined with the Pharisees,
Yep.
you know. So he didn't say, you're bad because you're part of the oppression system that's keeping these people down. He would dine with them and share ideas with them, and, you know, try to work to build a more fair, just society that way.
He taught through parables to demonstrate the changing of an attitude or a thought that would be necessary to bring about a more peaceful, harmonious existence for all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, his mind-bending parables that subvert your habitual ways of thinking and make you look at things from a new light. David?
It kind of reminds me of not just Jesus, but of Gandhi, that he dined with the kings and riches, and he walked with the people.
Yeah.
And said, you know, be the change that you want in this world, because it has to come from you. So he practiced what he preached.
Absolutely, yeah. He walked the talk,
Yeah.
literally. That movie with Ben Kingsley, my favorite line in there is when they let him out of jail, it says, can I get you something to eat?
Yeah.
And he says, no, thank you, I dined at the prison. Diana?
He also modeled standing strong in a peaceful protest,
Yes,
in a peaceful resistance of a form,
right.
Yeah.
Always with love.
always with love and always with also not just standing against something, but modeling what we're for. You know,
Yeah.
we're for cooperation, we're for treating one another as equals.
Yeah.
We're in favor of unconditional love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love the Ernest Holmes quote from his Sermon by the Sea, give me 1,000 people who are for something and against nothing. Because it's that resistance, whatever you're resisting, you're holding it into place with all that mental and emotional energy toward that.
I think what's also being addressed with these folks that have tried to show us the different way is the appreciation for the diversity of thought, customs, attitudes, beliefs, and how all of those things can work in a harmonious, cooperative way if we give it a chance.
Yeah.
We're willing.
Yeah, we just have to open our hearts a little bit bigger so that we can include more. That's the spiritual path, isn't it? It's opening our hearts and our minds so that they can be more inclusive, welcome in more and more stuff we don't understand. But the only way to develop that understanding is to let it in, let it affect us, let it change us.
I think that he demonstrated faith and trust in spirit and in life itself, that spirit will provide, does provide, that everything is unfolding as it should.
Yeah. Judged not by appearances. It might look like it's hitting the fan all over the place, but like our friend Eddie says, all is well and unfolding as it should. And that's why we pray, that's why we meditate. Lord, give me the understanding to see how this is working. Or maybe just the faith to know that it is, even if I can't see it. Chris?
He had a spiritual awareness of his relationship with life force, with God, and he was willing to trust that as his guidepost, as his way of being in the world. So it was the relationship that he cultivated with the living God within.
And he refused to come from any other place.
Yeah.
I'm going to do what Spirit tells me to do, even if it kills me.
And that was demonstrated in his conversation with Pontius Pilate.
Yeah. So. So, how do we inhabit the kingdom of heaven? Is it, do we have to wait till it's finished like a house and then we can move in?
It'll never be finished if we don't do it just the opposite way. Show up as love in action. Show up as peace in action. If we're gonna wait, we'll never get there.
Gotta get a building permit for.
No,
It
this
depends
kingdom
what
is not
county
of
you
this
choose to
world.
live
This is why we're together. My notes were said, it cannot be finished until we first move in and start behaving as a heavenly citizenry would.
You mean fake it till you make it?
There is some
You know?
of that.
Yeah, if your faith isn't strong enough to actually believe that, yeah, fake it till you make it. I used to, when I was teaching kindergarten and first grade, we do a lot of lap reading and point at the words and read with the kids, picture books and pictures. They would know the story after 3 or 4 times through it.
And they correct you if you read it wrong.
Yeah. And so, eventually you can just point at the words and they're not reading, they're reciting the story that they know based on the pictures. But so I always used to tell the parents, that's a fake it till you make it program. And one day, they make that connection between that print and the word, the tree on the page and the tree in the picture. So, but yeah, spirituality works the same way. We're all kindergartners here, right? And
I just got a diploma last week.
From kindergarten?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on your way now to more learning.
we'll have a graduation ceremony.
Oh, boy.
So, yeah, you know, if your faith feels weak, call a practitioner, lean into their faith. Or if one's not immediately available and you have something you gotta go through, just fake it till you make it. Act as if Spirit's got your back.
Because it does.
Mhm. And when you get through the whatever it is, then your faith comes out a lot stronger, doesn't it? So we're just gonna do it anyway. Is there any risk involved in that? Danger?
Could be.
Perceived risk.
Yeah.
Perceived risk,
Yeah.
not actual risk. In the capital letter sense, in spirit, in truth, there's no risk. But it certainly can feel risky.
Yeah.
What's the word risky mean?
Dangerous. There could be negative repercussions. Like it's risky to try and draw to an inside straight, you know, kind of the thing. I'm reminded we were giving out gift bags over Christmas, and they had cookies and some snacks in there. And in the middle of what we were doing, we heard that some people were getting ticketed for distributing food without a city permit to do so from the Environmental Health Department. So there are risks, you know. I mean, that's we went underground.
I think you're talking about worldly reality
Yeah.
risks, not absolute risk.
Right.
So in the reality, you could go to jail. You could lose your life. You could lose your possessions, and at the same time, taking risks and also bring more financial reward or comfort or peace. It depends on the circumstance, and not one of them is good or bad. It's just there is a risk, an inherent risk when you do something in the real world,
Yeah.
in the reality, this world, not the spiritual absolute realm.
You bring up a good point. I had a 403B, it's a 401k for nonprofits. And I was invested in two funds, and one was a fairly low risk one, the other one was a fairly high risk one. And the high risk one, when it paid off, the high risk one paid a lot more than the low risk one. So there is a risk reward.
It's a balancing act.
balance in there, yeah. So, but there are, like you said, the risks are in this world. They're not spiritual risks.
They're material risks. They're the things we can touch and see and lose or gain.
I'd like to turn a quick corner and end with a word comparison. In both the Old and New Testament, one of the words that is translated compassion in some places is translated pity in other places. So think about compassion and pity. Do those mean the same thing or something different? Sheree?
I would say when we pity someone, we're putting them as a victim. We're basically affirming that they're powerless.
Okay, so that kind of serves into that victim role. Okay.
Compassion is just seeing, I think, empowering them, seeing them for the true gift that they are, despite the appearance.
Thank you.
To me, pity feels a little bit judgmental.
Yeah.
They are less than, whereas compassion is straight across the board. We're along the lines of, there but for the grace of God.
Yeah.
You know, we're all human beings.
I used that phrase a few nights, a couple of months ago when we were hosting the Friday night dinner at the micro shelter that we're involved in. And the head of the program is a member of St. James Lutheran over there. And I said something like this. I always remember that there but for the grace of God go I. Mm-hmm. And she says, I don't like that phrase. And I mean, she wasn't chewing me out. I mean, it was just I just don't like that phrase. What's wrong with it? She goes, it seems like you have more grace, or God's giving you more grace than they're giving the other person. So I kind of hog it up all the grace. So I'm careful about using that.
It was a different take on it.
Yeah.
It was a different take on that.
Yeah, you heard her say that. So I still might say there but for fortune, like Bob Dylan did. Because fortune has less of a spiritual thing. It's just, you know, it could be out in the world luck, you know, so. But, you know, any one of us could be that person we're pitying.
I'm not even seeing it as luck. It's like the choices that we make.
Yeah.
And there have been times when some of the choices that I've made have put me in a world of hurt.
Yeah.
So, and then I can make other choices and choose something else. But I see that as more along the lines of, I haven't made those choices lately that have put me in that kind of a position.
Yeah, and there is an element of grace that brought us to this position where we can take Sunday morning off and come and gather together, and come eat together and worship together. And some people are not in that position. They're having to work 24/7 to just break even, stay alive.
The, when you said how that person interpreted that, it seems like that there's a belief in that grace is a limited thing. That's impossible. That any
Yeah.
quality of spirit is
Infinite.
unlimited,
Yeah.
yes. And I think that's where kind of it is, where someone can see any quality of spirit, like grace, as unlimited and step into it. It's just how they're seeing it. And another can feel, not that there aren't appearances that are really serious. They can feel that there is limited grace or limited good.
Yeah, yeah. If you judge by appearance, it certainly looks that way.
Yes.
So, yeah, I took it as a gut check for myself. Why am I serving in this way? Is it an ego gratification that I get by swooping in and being the savior, by helping get these people into housing, and by sending food to the mission and all that stuff? It really feels good. You walk up to the mission and drop off a ton of fresh organic produce, and the cook's beaming, and it feels really good. Is that because I have a savior complex? I had to really look at that. I'm going, is this my ego that's liking the attention, or and with there before the grace of God, is that spiritual arrogance? I mean, I know that I can go off the rails and go there. Performing in rock and roll bands for years taught me that my ego can sometimes go off on its own, and I just, follow along. So I try to watch that, especially in spiritual endeavors, because that is a major pollutant.
No Saint Christopher here?
Some of us have lived that.
What's that?
Some of us have lived that.
Yeah.
Some of us know what it's like to be living in the car and not having a place to go.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I say there but for the grace of God, I know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And I was able to get out of it and to come back.
Yeah.
And for me then, when I look at someone with compassion, I'm not judging them.
Yeah.
I'm feeling them because I've been there.
Yeah.
And pity is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And Diana had her hand up.
It's okay. It went by. It's all right.
Okay, well, I'm not criticizing your use of that phrase, because it's what's in your heart when you use that phrase, And so I just had to do a check to make sure that there wasn't goofy stuff in there.
It came
I
back.
agree.
It came back.
Oh, good.
So, there but for my awareness of the unlimited grace. Because grace, I would agree that grace is ever present, always available. But just like not being aware of my own choice making,
Yeah.
if I don't know that grace is ever present and always available, if I don't have awareness of that, I have no way to open and connect with it.
Yeah.
So, there but for my awareness of the grace of God, go I.
And willingness to accept
And
it.
willingness to receive it, yeah.
Receptivity is huge,
Right.
We bring a thimble to a waterfall, we're not gonna get much water.
Yeah.
If we bring a bucket, she just jumps into the waterfall, so.
So consciousness is,
Right.
consciousness is what allows that grace to be shown, right? If you're conscious of it, then you
Yeah.
know that. otherwise you don't.
Yeah, it's still there, but it just doesn't manifest in your life until you're aware of it and receptive to it. Chris?
Sorry.
I think it's probably not, I'm probably saying the same thing that's already said, but it's that spiritual awareness of other and what it's like to be in the circumstances of another, and the intentionality of the service that you're giving without an expectation of something in return.
Yeah.
Makes the difference, I think.
Yeah, it's a non-attachment to the results that makes it sacred service and not just something else.
Are you?
You guys?
We don't even see each other, so it's like, what? Oh. The idea that grace, like when you were giving the food, I mean, there is this balance, right, between the ego, but also I think that it is natural to feel good
Yeah.
about giving. It's a Christ consciousness sort of thing of because we're redistributing, putting grace in circulation.
Right.
Because you have been in a place of abundance and love and grace, that you are in a special place to be able to keep that circulation going and give that. And I think that's really wonderful that you're checking yourself. But at the same time, I think that we can be joyful.
Oh, yeah.
In that, in the giving, and receive that when they're happy like that, receive that blessing back, that and just be in that really good space, because that's part of the accepting of it.
Yeah.
That it's not just stopping, that we're putting that back out.
Yeah, it is joyful, and like I said, I'm just trying to keep it pure, and we have lots of opportunities for impurities to seek into what we're doing.
That's true.
At least I do. You guys are probably above all.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're serving as conduits for grace.
Mm-hmm.
The hands of grace.
Yeah. So it's moving, grace moves through us and out, and as that happens, of course that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to feel good.
Mm-hmm.
It's grace moving through you.
Mm-hmm.
How can it not feel good?
So there's an equal and opposite reaction. You give and you receive
Right.
at the same
You see
time,
all
and
that.
that's the
Right.
circulation.
Yeah. Grace moves
That's
through
also-
your life.
It's also an expression of unity with that other person.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, as you give, you receive.
Yeah.
And then the one other thing was, I got this poster up or thing, and it says, I do not judge another man until I've walked a mile in his moccasins. Because we don't know what anybody's trip is or what they're going through, I mean, a lot of things that look negative, it's their karma, it's their thing to have to work through that. And we always want to take the pain away or the circumstance away from what someone's going through. Sometimes I don't think we understand the value of it sometimes.
No, we want to take it away because it makes us uncomfortable.
Right.
And, but by doing so, we may be robbing them of their spiritual independence, their spiritual liberty, so their soul might have a lesson to learn that we can't imagine, which isn't to say that we just opt out and don't help, but it might make us think differently about how we hold the situation and what is an appropriate response.
That's why we ask.
Yes.
How can I support you? Then that is helping each other, walk each other home, so to speak.
Yes.
But it's asking and not assuming you know the right answer.
Yeah, yeah. I might know the right answer. If it was me going through that, I might not. I've made that mistake before too.
Yes.
But, yeah. That's what I always ask within first and then ask the other person, how can I help? As Ram Dass said. Wow. Anything else need to be spoken? Passionate souls without pity.
We were just giggling because Dave's belly is speaking, growling so long and loud.
So it would be compassionate of me to wind things up so we can get away.
I couldn't have said it better.
All right. Let's do that.
You, my dear.
It's a very long
Be
time.
compassionate
I want
actions.
everybody to know my stomach.
Well,
It's okay, it's a signal.
I felt like Chris thought we were giggling at what she was saying. I was like, no, we're just giggling at his belly.
All right, well, I'd like to wrap up then with a couple of short,
Yeah, get to it.
that's where I was anyway. A couple of short readings and then we'll close in prayer. First reading is from Howard Thurman's Meditations of the Heart. God is making room in my heart for compassion. There's already a vast abundance of room for pity, including self-pity, that sticky substance that ruins everything it touches. There is pity in me, pity for others, but there is something in it that cannot be trusted. It is mixed with pride, arrogance, cunning. I see this only when I expose myself to the eyes of God in the quiet time. It is now that I see what my pity really is and the sources from which it springs. God is making room in my heart for compassion, the awareness that where my life begins is where your life begins, the awareness that your needs cannot be separated from my needs, the awareness that the joys of my heart are never mine alone, nor are my sorrows. I struggle against the work of God in my heart. I want to be let alone. I want my boundaries to remain fixed that I may be at rest. But even now, as I turn to God in the quietness, God's work in me is ever the same. God is at work, enlarging the boundaries of my heart. And Nadia Boltz-Weber, in her blog, commented on her recent prison visit. I look those two young men in the eyes and think, I will not pity you, but I will, in this moment, see just a fraction of your pain and acknowledge how it is like mine and how it is very much not like mine. In my mind, pity isn't even analogous to compassion. Pity is just a paternalistic cousin. I'll try that again. Pity is just the paternalistic cousin of contempt. Whew, that's hard. It allows us to see others as those less fortunate than ourselves, a term I loathe. Pity keeps the other person at a distance and me in a rarefied state of satisfaction. Compassion, on the other hand, draws us close. So no, I do not pity the men I met. Like you and me, they are complex human beings. They have experienced love I do not know about and have really great stories I will never hear. So to feel sorry for them, based solely on what little I now know of their stories, is reductive. This world would break your heart. This world will break your heart. There's enough sorrow to go around and for everyone to have seconds. But this world has 1,000 forms of medicine too. I've yet to find healing in self-pity, isolation, pretending I'm not hurting, comparison, hardening myself, standing in judgment, although it sure feels good. but I have found it in eye contact with another person who is in a tender place. The rare moments I stop filling in the blanks about another person. Compassion toward myself and others, remaining open-hearted in moments I want to shut down, and using my pain to see it in others rather than only in myself. Powerful, powerful writers. So I'd like to close with this Unitarian Universalist prayer from Evening Tides by Elizabeth Tarbox. Spirit of life, I give thanks for the opportunities to love that present themselves in the turmoil of life. Where the light catches the tears in another's eyes, where hands are held and there are moments without words, let us be present then and alive to the possibility of changing. Let us seek to make another's well-being the object of our concern. Let us seek to be present to another's pain, to bathe another's wounds, to hear another's sadness, to celebrate another's success, and allow the other's story to change our own. Let us stand in the morning on damp grass, hear the syllables of bird song, and fill up on sweet air that rolls over oceans and continents. Let us look up at the stars and the planets that fill the night sky with majesty. Let us witness the first fresh buds of spring amid the brown sticks of winter. And for all of this, let us be grateful. Let us not defend ourselves against the discomfort of unruly emotion, nor seek to close down our hearts for fear a new love will come to shake our foundations. Let us instead be open to discovering a new way of seeing an old problem, or appreciating the perfection of a seashell, or the possibility of a friendship. For in giving ourselves to what we do not understand, we receive life's blessings, and in taking care of another, we are cared for. Amen. And take a moment to allow your awareness to return to your body and to this space, to this beautiful gathering. Welcome back. I invite you now to join in the celebration of the work we're doing in the world by sharing of your financial goods, should you choose to do so. If you're at home, you can go to mysticheart.org, find a donate button on the front page, or find our mailing address if you prefer to mail it in. We are an independent, self-supporting organization, and your financial gifts are what make it possible for us to do our work in the world and provide this beautiful gathering place. We thank you in advance for your generous gifts, and we acknowledge you give thanks for the infinite abundance of Spirit moving through you. As you give, so it is given unto you. So while we're passing the basket, please enjoy this video by Jamie Lula, Compassion.
Grateful for your tenderness when life can feel unkind. I'm grateful for the ways you and I are stuck inside my mind. Grateful for your courage to hold your steady ground. I'm grateful for compassion when mine cannot be found. Oh, compassion when broken hearts bleed. Compassion, sweet compassion. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. Sweet compassion, I find compassion for friends and enemies. My where my spirit breathes. I'm grateful for your thoughtful words, an emptiness about. Grateful when you take my hand and you turn my head around. Grateful for the healing and warmth of your embrace. I'm grateful for compassion to touch a deeper place. When broken hearts bleed, sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassions where my spirit breathes. Oh, make me, mold me, shake me, shift me to all that I can be. That I may express your endless compassion. It's what I'm meant to be. Oh, compassion when broken hearts bleed. Sweet compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassion is where my spirit breathes. Oh, compassion when broken hearts bleed. Compassion when my soul's in need. I find compassion for friends and enemies. My own compassion is where my spirit breathes.
We give thanks for these gifts as they are given today. The gifts of spirit moving through your lives, your hands, your hearts. And we pledge to make best use of these gifts as we grow them, expand them, and serve them back out into the community. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to each one who gives, and so it is. Amen. And other than that, we're going to close with our closing song so that we can go enjoy that amazing lunch that awaits us next door. And take plants. All together, hand in hand, we see the light, we take a stand, and we are changing. A whole new life for you and me. Take your past and set it free and share this blessing. Love be with you, peace enfold you, spirit lift you, breathe it in, truth come through you, make it flow to you, let joy renew you. love you.